Upcoming is a panel discussion bringing us to the topic of generative AI and API. Please welcome the following expertise to get onto the stage. Justin Yuen, Session Head, Data and Analytics at Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Elton Tang, HACS EASG Executive Committee at Hong Kong Computer Society. Michael Yong, Strategic Advisor, Google Cloud at Google Hong Kong. Ben Jang, CEO, Founder at Our Sky. Dave Chen, Vice President, Emerging Technologies at Hong Kong's Computer Society. They will facilitate the discussion. Dave, over to you, please.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon. I think we got a lot of good discussion on API today. I think our topic is quite exciting, not just because the GAI, these terms, but GAI plus the API. So what was the synergy or what's the chemical reactions with the GAI and API? So today we have a great lineup of speakers from different sectors like the cloud providers, app developers, enterprise, public organizations. And first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Dave. I'm the Vice President of Hong Kong Computer Society, looking after the emerging technologies. At the same time, I'm also the CIO role for a public organization. So let's get started. We try to figure out the GAI and API, what are the real use cases, also the opportunities, as well as the challenges, especially on the integration part, because I understand that these guys are tech guru indeed. They must have a lot of sharings on the technical integration challenges, for example. So let's get started. Could each panelist just briefly describe yourself and also in the context of GAI and API, just very briefly. Maybe you start from Justy.
I'm Justy from Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Session Head of Data Analytics. In TDC, I'm working with the data and also the Generative AI initiative. Previously, I worked in a public organization too. I work on architectures, integrations, and securities.
Okay, Alvin.
So I'm Alvin. So I'm ex-co in Hong Kong Computer Society, and at the same time, I'm in a global MNC and retail company. So we are trying to use a lot of generative AI in our products and recommendations, something like have a chatbox and communicate with the customers. We're trying to do that. But during the time, a lot of limitation or integration difficulty during the testing. So happy to share.
Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael, Strategic Advisor of Google Cloud, and my job is basically to help our clients or enterprises to transform with Google Cloud technology. So I think for generative AI, maybe some of you know, transformer model is invented by Google 6 years back, and then they're open source to everybody, right? But for me, I touched on generative AI about 2 years back when using GPT-3, yeah. And for API, I can't help, I know it's different, but I can't help to reminds me the remote procedure call in my Unix day many years ago in my career. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
So I'm Ben from Our Sky. So in the context of AI, generative AI, I think I would better describe myself as we actually have a product called Formix AI. So all we do is we help our customer to use our API to convert unstructured data into structured data via different machine learning models. So for example, you go to some of the shopping mall these days, you could scan the receipt and then it automatically show all the total amount, all the data for your loyalty program, car park redemption already. That might be using our API. So in short, we provide an API for some use case of generative AI.
Okay, so no worry, today we are not have any product selling, but just to deep dive into the technologies. So let's start by exploring some use cases or GAI usage. So any breakthroughs in GAI or that have caught your attention? Or can you share some examples of real life, real world application leveraging the GAI and also any impact you think? So maybe start from Justy.
Yeah, I come from data analytics. When we do AI machine learning models, start from the beginning. We have to do collect data, data cleansing, build model, deploy, and then training, testing, all done by ourselves. But with generative AI current service, that it's done for us already, so that it's easily for us to pick it, use it, and then since it is usually come from an API, we can adopt it quite easily. So, and at the same time, it is quite general purpose. We can adopt in different areas in the business units. So we try it out from different business units now. For example, generally, we open a private organizational internal ChatGPT is not publicly learned by ChatGPT company, so that every user can use it just like the outside one, but keep the security in ourselves. Another one is our document. We have a lot of policy document that we are going to use it, the ChatGPT version. And then later, maybe customer service. This may be shared by more experience from them.
Yeah, so customer service, I would say this is our customer-facing systems. So we have multiple options like chat box to communicate with the end users, I mean the consumers. So we try to integrate with the very famous another brand name chatbox. So, but which is good in the generation, but we have a challenge with time because whenever we have a conversation with customers, the customer we expect will respond immediately, but actually generate the response will take time. So this is one part. Another part is like we're going to generate a response with like the graphical content with the customers. But that part, in case you really want to have a very fancy and colorful photos to come in, it also takes a very long time, and integration might be sometime will have a hiccup. So.
I think yeah, to echo Alvin and Justy, nowadays we talk about GAI not only on text, not only on ChatGPT test input, test output, but also, as you said, the graphical, sound, videos, that's a lot of different varieties. So Michael, do you have any insights from that?
Well, I think related to that, many times we are focused in the last mile customer services touchpoint or engagement. But the fact is, generative AI to me can do a lot more than just customer services. What if it's a conversational commerce? You can get the direct information from the inventory level, location, connect to the payment gateway, complete the whole transaction all in one go. But then about the images, again, many times we focus in stable diffusion, mid-journey on creating artwork. But what if you are an enterprise, you need to generate tons of images and then discuss with your agency, exchanging ideas. The end-to-end marketing creation process, can generative AI help you? Of course we can, but then again, I think for enterprises like you all, or you're developing solution for enterprises, not only focusing in the last mile customer interaction, which is very important, but then again, how you can use it within your company, bring money to the table, instead of generating 100 draft emails or 200 draft slides, is not bringing money to the table. I want people to also think about it.
Yeah, the buzzword is always sexy, right? And everyone talking about GAI and the senior management talking about it. So, of course, as IT guru, we also talk about it. But the most important is to serve customers and how do we deliver value to the customers. I agree with you. So, Ben, do you have any other opinions?
Well, I think I can go back to the basic. It's like a lot of time, like when people ask me, like, "Hey, what can generative AI or what can LM do?" I think a very good analogy is like imagine you have a occasionally drunk high school interns.
Okay,
so if the task could be done by a occasionally drunk high school interns, then that is something is a good fit for generative AI. Actually, I didn't invent that. It was like written by a AI researcher. I read that abroad, but I think it's a really good analogy. So,
yeah, I understand what you mean. So not only for the layman users, but also impact to IT people. I heard because the GAI also can generate codes not only for the graphics or text, And nowadays, the programmers may just need to input some criteria or prompt, and everything generated. So it may be an impact. But from all of your use cases, I have some challenges indeed. For example, you mentioned about the security, you mentioned about the delivery to the client, and also some copyright issue from the generated images, and also impact to the developers. So maybe can you just elaborate more about what your challenges, if, for example, from the security perspective, Shasti?
Because if we use the public GPT, that efficacy, you will learn what you type, what you respond. They will learn it. But for the internal use, it is very useful for your daily work. Like help you to prepare minute, help you to prepare email, or help you to prepare document in your work life. But we don't want to leave out, so that we want to keep it ourselves. We have to use the private one. Then this helps a lot for us, and people actually we deploy it, and the response is quite well. And we deploy on our daily communication tools, just an app inside, so that they can use it. The security is all the response we save it, and we don't keep it in ourselves as a feedback for ourselves to tune the result to. That the security is definitely an enterprise concern. And the other thing, the challenge is just like what Ben said. It's like a drug. It's all seriously tell you something wrong. That's the Gen AI usually does it. Most of the time, it will tell you a quite reasonable result. For example, we put it into the HR document and the annual leave, and then we want to accept the days what the employee entitled. But sometimes it will make it up. If you just not tune it well, that's we call it temperature. Whether if you don't tune it well, that it will answer something wrong, but it looks like all correct. All the grammar, all the thing is look like the real one. So that makes sure that the chance that you have to pay attention on that.
Exactly. So besides security, I heard about copyright issues. So Alvin, you work for the global MNC. I think copyright should be very crucial to you guys. So any concern on that?
Yeah, it's super crucial, especially when you're covering multiple countries, because all the countries will have different level of control in your public data, especially whenever your customers is sharing the data and you are going to use the data to communicate with customers, then they will be feeling of being offended, and this could be a challenge and criminal in some cases.
And any solution from cloud providers on regarding?
For images, of course, we have the digital watermark. And of course, you can, in the adapter model, you can only use the images or product catalog from your company, such that you will not generate other images outside your image catalog. That's one thing. But then also about let's say the text generator, will it offend certain customer group, for example? Then I guess all cloud providers working on what we call the responsible AI or ethical AI, something that to make sure the data, what garbage in, garbage out, what you trained, will only provide some data or output, not hallucinated, with the citation to tell you the source, such that it will not offend people, and that will help, hopefully, certain enterprises like yours to solve that problem.
We talk about a lot of challenges, and maybe it's a little bit scary, but maybe we switch to the better side, right? On the opportunities. So, what are the business opportunities in GAI? I understand that, Ben, you work for the app as a developer for the apps. So, any potential GAI APIs that can enhance the, for example, the development and the user experience, and also the app development?
Well, unfortunately, I still think the path to you just type in a prompt and then an app automatically got generated is a little bit far, because a drunk high school interns probably can't do it neither. But I can see that there are now some area of developments, especially for developer experience, is improving. like for example, like myself, like I basically forgot how to write Excel formula for last 6 months already because I have been like using ChatGPT for all the Excel formula. A couple of areas that we see a lot of improvement on developer experience are something like, for example, a lot of DevOps, like writing Terraform script, those kind of things could kind of be like automated by some code model a lot, some SQL query. So basically, like still fall into the high school intern stuff. Like if the high school intern stuff is a drunk high school intern could do it quite well, then it do it quite well. So these are the areas that I see that that will have a lot of impact on developers' job, to be honest.
Oh, really? So how about the enterprise side? And any GAI that can benefit to your business users or even to your business senior management?
Yeah, for the business user side, just like example, HR, finance, or IT, there's a lot of policy and guidelines. In the old days, people may have to find their own, have to search by their own, or bring up the phone call to ask HR, what is my entitlement, what is the problem? And with the generative AI, we easily to get the document learned and adopted by generative AI to get a response. Actually, we do a comparison with those big three cloud provider solutions, whether the model questions, top 10 questions from different departments, and the model answer from the department, we compare that. The 80%, they think okay. Of course, there's something weird stuff happening.
Don't disclose who are the big threes.
Okay. The big three, even though it's quite reasonable, you can easily get to a certain standard. But if you want to get perfect, then you have to some effort to do just like what Ethan said, the MMOs, the fine tuning, the feedback. You have to do something in order to get it.
That means not just one click and then work, right? Everything needs to be fine-tuned.
Vetting.
Vetting, and also ensure that it is really comply to everything. So, Alvin, how about you?
I think we count it in two directions. One is internal operation. For internal operation, say HR can provide an inquiry, bot check, and easy it works. And also some other departments is open for inquiry to check the document as Justin just shared. Another direction is like external integration. External can have a communication way with the external partners and at the same time external customers. So this is somehow the opportunity can make use of it. But of course, I would like to make an example. It's like we can't ChatGPT this kind of open AI. It's like it's all the language actually they don't understand what language it is. What the meaning is they respond based on probability only. So they just like someone asked a question, and most of the people will respond like that. That's why he respond. But actually, they don't know what is meaning behind. So this is somehow we have to think about that and manage it. And this is all the reason behind about the responsible AI and also ethical AI. This is we have to concern, especially when we have a customer facing. We are facing also legal liability in every wording. So including like a product description, including the response of the availability of the services, is all legal binding. So this is somehow we have to make sure it's valid.
I could see that there's a lot of potential from the cloud provider as well on the GAI. So Michael just told me that they have just some product launch yesterday night. So can you give us some insight on what the benefits or how the cloud solution providers help us?
Well, I guess one of the things to address, like what Ben said, a drunk intern, they hallucinate the result, the reply or the answers, right? If we see from the flip side, because we believe in one big language model can solve every questions, but simply is not the case. So what if we have a retail language model just to answer retail-related questions, and cloud provider can provide many models. We have over 100 models, security LM, medical LM. So just a language model to serve specific model. The response time will be a lot faster, a lot cheaper, and the answers a lot more accurate. So this is one possible opportunity.
Just like if you get sick, you find a doctor, but not just ask the ChatGPT. General.
You can do that as well.
But I don't believe that. Anyway, so let's switch to another topic, which is related to the API. So we got lots of APIs in the when we are designing the apps for GAIS, no matter what kind of apps. That's a lot of integration. I believe there are a lot of integration challenges. And I understand that this morning there's a panel discussion talking about the API ecosystems. So instead of just simply calling your API and then make it work, any challenges you come over in your past experience that you can share to the audience? Maybe start from Ben. I understand you got a lot of to share.
Sure. So maybe I can share like in the perspective of like we are the one who provide the API, right? I just mentioned like when at the introduction. So I could see that like when you're providing an API that is based on generative AI, like there are at least three things that will be really troublesome for you. One thing is latency, because like just imagine like I take the example of like scanning receipt. Users expect like you will have the result in 5 seconds maybe, but if you try to use generative AI, like it's always like depends on the loading. It could take like 10, 30, even over a minute sometimes, like, if you are unlucky. So the variation of the latency is huge, and how do you handle that is a challenge. Another challenge is actually I would say is capacity. So for example, if you use some of these large chat LLM provider, their API would like throw like if you try to like just call them like hundreds times, thousands times, keep calling them. Well, in our experiment, most of the time you would have like say one error in every 10 to 100 call. So the error rate is higher than most of the API you use out there. So how do you deal with that? The third challenge I saw is like actually related with the responsible AI, is that sometimes it's go too sensitive. Like it just keep throwing your error on like, hey, this is something like we can't answer, we can't do this, we can't do that. And you're an API provider, then how do you escalate that error to the client side? Like these three are some of the challenges we see.
How about you, Michael?
I think one of the challenges is exactly the point that API you make a request to external parties and then get some information back. So for example, let's say you're building a platform and you want to recommend a song to your customer. And then you make a request API to a music platform to see, oh, my customer's listening history in the past. Get it back such that I can use my generative AI LLM to generate something for my customer. Then what if the result reply from the music platform is biased to something? You don't really know, because you just rely on the API response. So for this kind of applications, I would suggest other than exactly the problems what Ben's talk about, the latency, the error rate, et cetera, also the quality of the reply from the API, the result provider.
Especially we can't just take out or it's not in a very good transparency,
Exactly.
right? It's just like a black box, you just trust, right?
Yeah.
So, Evan.
I just want to share figures. It's like a customer will leave all the online business by 3 seconds, so not 5 seconds. So
Maybe 1 second.
Yeah. So think
It's
about
a drunk intern's reply, okay?
it's a valid topic figures. So why I would say that is latency is super important in online, especially the real-time by machine integration, in interaction with the customers. So this is one point. Another part is the API, multiple API can come together in the one single answer. That means behind the scene, it burn out quite a longer latency together to come out. For example, one API provide part of the data and go into another API to ask about the documentation. So you basically already are asked twice, and combined together, combo response time is quite high. And then I just go to ask some more on enrichment information. It will burn more and more time. So the challenge is like how to minimize this kind of integration, integrated answer come into one. So this is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I think the architecture that Ethan just mentioned are very crucial also because sometimes the latency are not only from the GAI but also from the other APIs and other areas. But I agree with you that nowadays the GPUs demand are so huge and it is very costly. And that means 1 second, and then Ben will code you 1 million, 3 seconds, and then half the price. maybe we have to leverage, as you said, whether the return on investment is worth putting such an amount of cost into the GAI to get a very promptly result. So that is
I think in corporate level, we always count as like a investment and return of investment (ROI). So whenever we can start from small, start to use a case and start to use a GAI easy, but whether we can have a mass production, to launch in the real business operation, is another level of calculation in the investment. So this is really crucial to make it happen. Obviously.
How about you, Justin?
Just like other people said, that time response is really a problem in the Gen AI. Usually the prompt is very slow. Sometimes you don't know why, and then people have to wait. And for our case, because we used to learn the internal document, there's another layer on top of the Gen AI already. So the time has to be managed. For enterprise, one of the maybe the happy use is every time we call it, the vendor will charge us. So we have to monitor how much the people use, maybe set a quota for them. But this one has to be properly managed. Otherwise, you will set too limit to the user, they will get away from the platform. So statistics and then usage, we have to monitor it.
Yeah, cool. So maybe I understand that you guys have been started the GAI journey, but I understand also from the audience they may not. So do you have any quick advice or quick get started advice for them to quickly, to get started on using the GAI or GAI APIs? Ben, use your product, right?
Yeah, use my product. I feel like there are like tons of tools out there. Like just start trial today, and then this is actually a really exciting time for the IT industry. I think there's like tons of innovation, tons of new stuff. So.
Yeah. Michael, use your product, right?
Yeah,
sign up GCP.
Yeah, assuming you have a Gmail account, and just go ahead to use it and then get some free credit. And if you're a startup, and AI startup can get up to $250,000 startup fund as well. Yeah.
Evan.
Okay, not from product vendor side.
Yeah.
So I think firstly to study what available function will be provided from Gen AI. Another part is find the top option that you want to try. Then you start from super small and identify the result, whether it is what you want, and then continue to expand the expenses in like GCP.
Justin.
For enterprise internal documents experience, I would like to say all those big vendors is the Gen AI service is more or less the same as actual startup. But for the model, just like what Ethan previous speaker say, the model, the LMM model the framework you are using, because you use RAG, use LangChain, that's the popular one that will help you. Then you can switch over the Gen AI service at the back. If you don't like that cloud product vendors, Gen AI service switch to another. That easily to do it. Make sure that you use a proper model, a framework to build your Gen AI service.
Exactly. So it's almost the end of this discussion. I would like to end by predicting the future. That means everyone has the magical ball right now. So how do you predict the APIs? How does it evolve to meet the changing needs and also the demands of businesses or developers in the coming 3 to 5 years, maybe? Ben, magical ball.
Well, I wouldn't say 3 years, maybe 2 years, 1 year. I would see the major changes like I could foresee most of the problem we talked today would be like all the application would try to fit in models that are around 7B to 13 billion models. Like that would be, I think, the next big change.
Yeah, Michael.
I would say more specific language model to fit different purposes. And I tend to think generative AI in 1-2 years will be just another members in the big AI families. We use AI for a long, long time, okay? So maybe next year there will another new AI technology come up.
Yeah, maybe. Evan.
Yeah, I'm expecting similar, but I will expect a bit longer because of limited production in the GPU. So maybe the calculation power is limited in some level, but definitely the trend will grow here to more general and more intelligent. The LLM come out.
Okay, Justin.
To me, a specific model may be one of the key things. And for specific model, the resources requirement will be less required, so that lightweight LLM can be used, so that we don't need so much GPU power. There's content competing by each other, and can adopt in different areas.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I saw the ladies coming, said time's up. So we got a lot of good discussions. Actually, I got tons of questions coming up, but next time. Let's do it next time, okay? So thank you very much. Thanks for joining, and give a big applause to the panelists.
So thank you for bringing us the valuable insights into the practical application of generative AI and APIs. Next, we will move to a very unique chapter today about the API and venture capital. This session is only available in API Day Hong Kong among all the global API days. Part of our audience is from HASTP, and they should be very interested to explore further. Our next speaker, Jayden, is a self-taught angel. He managed to back not one, but 2 startups from their humble beginnings all the way to unicorns.
The API Connect Hong Kong 2023 conference is powered by bNovelty Limited. Check out more API-related education content on bnovelty.com or apidays.hk for more information.